Oh, okay. You know
Yeah,
what?
a little green light.
Okay,
green means
because
good.
I brought that camera for nothing then. Hello. All right.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I thought this would work on Safari Internet Explorer, but probably not. But it does not work on Safari. You have to go on Google Chrome. So we needed a few minutes to close Safari and go on Google Chrome.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
But thank you.
Yeah, there's some 007 cupcakes.
Instagram people, forgive us if we're sometimes looking in this direction, because this is YouTube, and YouTube people, forgive us if sometimes we're looking in that direction, because Instagram is
camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, or camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. I don't know anymore. I'm confused. And we also have lights. I know you guys can see them, but if I put my hands like that, we have lights. Camera. Action!
They look like donuts. Or the rim of those, the rims of those things you use sometimes.
That's it for ladies who do makeup tutorials.
Yeah. But
looks nice. I'm happy.
Look, sometimes you're born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. We don't know, but maybe not with this.
It's oil the boilie.
So thanks to everybody. Thank you for, the Instagram people have been watching us for a couple minutes already. We appreciate the patience of the people in the YouTube chat.
Thank you.
Much obliged. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you. That's so nice.
How do you feel being 3 years old now? Can you spell? How many words do you know?
What's my name? Edgar? EDGR?
Something like that. Something like that.
Well, it's fun. Do you call something like this? It is an accomplishment. Although on the day of, it's one of those things. I sort of woke up this morning going, "Oh, right, there's a live stream today," because it's
I know it's the launch date, but in my heart of heart, to me, the podcast, the show itself, began in September 2017. Yeah. That's when I met you and Jason.
Exactly. That's when four important people gathered in Quebec City. It was you, it was me, it was Jason Kim, and James Bond.
Yeah, James Bond. Number dos.
So when the four of us got together on that great day,
combine their powers.
George didn't stick around very long, though.
Yeah,
but
it was
Jason,
it was too cold for him.
Mid-September, early September, mid-September. It was too cold.
I'll cherish that moment for all my life. It just came out. Ooh, it's cold. It's Quebec City. It's always cold.
Can't remember where he is from exactly in Australia. Is it like a region where it doesn't get very? Because they do have a winter.
Yeah, but their winter is like, or maybe or autumn. I don't think they get as cold as we do, and it's sort of the other way. Like right now, they're boiling in their own juices,
yes.
And for us, it's unfortunately not the case.
No, that was a pretty decent week, but we're not here to talk about
the weather.
We're here to talk about us.
Yes, the beer. The beer has been gone for a few months now. I actually have a video that I shot. I need to eventually finish it. We need to put your shots in.
Didn't I send you some audio for that?
You did, but I sort of reconceived the video. I actually shot a version with my sister as your stand-in.
Oh, wow.
And basically, like when I grew my beard last summer at the end, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna get it cut and get my hair cut, but I'm gonna make a sort of a video. And I was really into Diana Day, the beard, the long hair. I wanted to grow my hair as long as Pierce Brosnan, but
I mean, you're into Die Another Day, period. We could end that sentence there, but
I kind of like it with all its flaws. But you weren't accessible, so I just shot my version.
Right.
And this is when I got my my underwater camera. So there are shots in the final video that have me being dunked. And I went to the hairdresser and I said, "Can I put my cell phone there with the tripod and the time lapse?" And I have a video of getting my hair cut. And I went to the girl and I said, "Can I make me look like that?" And I had a picture of Pierce Brosnan.
I think you shared that one. I think I saw the one.
Like I said,
a barber.
I need to shoot a few close-ups and some reaction from you. and it's gonna take me 2 seconds.
Did your sister play me well?
Yes, she's a great double for you. She's about the same height.
I mean, look, it's 2021. It's anything goes. So whatever. Get your sister to play me. It's fine. This is how the world works. So 3rd anniversary. We have, this is not going to be a particularly strict or stringent.
Oh, it's going to be
very casual. There were some things maybe we wanted to bring up, Cindy, some of our own favorite episodes, moments, because a lot has happened in 3 years. A lot has happened.
It's crazy. I was thinking about that. Like we chatted a little bit yesterday, and when I came in, I was like, "I remember that. Do you remember that?" Yeah. It's sort of a member berries moment.
Yeah,
like, oh,
we've almost had a James Bond movie like 6 times in these. Five times, 6 times. Can't remember how many dates.
We're at 6, I think. Yeah. Like one more, and we get 007.
Yeah, let's make it a double. Honestly. If I know I'm a very
controversial.
I'm a sarcastic personality, but I'm not even being as sarcastic as maybe some of the viewers might think. At this point, why would we not make it a 007?
I mean, you're there, so why not? Well, you're not coconut.
60th anniversary. These people, these people out there, of which you are among them, are like they should make it the 60th anniversary. You know what? 60th anniversary, 007th release date. At this point, even I'm like, the hell with this. Like,
and if we go to Las Vegas, maybe rent a theater and watch it.
That was news at the time of this live stream. That was news from earlier this week.
I think Martin
Mulder, on the tracks of 007.
I'm going to say, I'm going to have to save up to this year a lot because I still have, I still want to go to Jamaica.
The greatest place.
Oh God, man! I've been looking. I've been editing my snorkeling videos, and I've been learning more about snorkeling. And I've watched the Octopus Teacher on Netflix, which I made you watch. I made Emery watch.
It's good, actually. It was good. I liked it.
It's a good video if you're looking for something to take your mind off everything that's happening in the world. This is
as does the main protagonist in this movie, for that matter. So.
It's a really relaxing journey underwater with an octopus. That's all I'll say. But yeah, I've never been to Las Vegas, so I'm actually kind of excited about that. Even though Diamonds is not my favorite movie, it's still Vegas. Oh, Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Look, it's no, it's more. But
you'll cosplay as
Old Lady Blofeld.
Old Lady Blofeld. I'll cosplay as the elephant pulling the liver.
Wrong pussy. Actually, that's a Sean line. I keep thinking that's a Blofeld line. It's a Sean line. Right idea. Wrong pussy. But I keep thinking Blofeld because it feels like that's the movie where Blofeld would say that. Wrong. But yeah, I mean, look, we won't.
Wrong pusher.
Wrong pusher. I mean, we've had behind-the-scenes conversations with Emery about maybe, it's maybe a bit of a long shot, but doing something next year that's like Die Another Day related. So if we have competent people organizing something in Las Vegas for Diamonds Are Forever, I'm like, sure, okay.
Yeah, not that we're incompetent. It's just that we're gonna.
We don't know what we're doing. We've shot it. We've tossed around. I think the ideas we've tossed around are like, well, that's really bold. I have no idea how we're going to make that happen. And there's a lot of like, oh, this is good. Maybe we can work with this. The bold is very bold. I
tend to go crazy with ideas. So I was like, oh, wait, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And Emery and Edgar are like, I think you're a little bit delusional, but I'm like, oh, let's try. Let's go for the brass ring. Let's go, guys. Okay. And we haven't discussed the Quebec event since.
You know what? It's funny. We're recording this. Not only is it the day of our 3rd anniversary, it is also Super Bowl Sunday. And one of the 2 coaches involved in tonight's game, apologies for non-American football fans, we won't spend much time on this, but one of the coaches in tonight's game is actually known for saying, no risk it, no biscuit. He actually says that, so I like that.
That's a good philosophy to have.
And they're playing the Super Bowl. Maybe we can play the Super Bowl too. our version of the Super Bowl would be like sipping drinks with Jacinta Jinx and 007, and of course Miranda Frost. And
that's a whammy.
And
double whammy. Oh, and Toby Stevens and
Toby
Pierce
Stevens,
and Ricky Newman,
aka voice James Bond on the BBC.
Yeah. Oh God.
But one of your favorite villains?
Favorite villain, and probably my favorite non-corporeal James Bond, because if you've heard him doing the BBC radio play or even the books he reads, he's fantastic. And I've come to realize that he's the man that should have been Bond that never will, because I think he's really, if the people from the video game are listening ever to this video,
voice the character
in the video game. Have him voice the character. It'd be great.
Yeah, it would be a good idea. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Actually, I'm 110% behind that.
Let's do it. Let's get Toby the voice of James Bond.
We actually should start a movement.
Yes,
about that.
Yes,
we should.
And we should get in touch with
Ian and the IO.
IO10, they'll do what they want to do. But if I were them, I'd consider it. I don't know how much he charges. I love him. I actually do love him in Lost in Space. Everything I've seen him, I've loved him in. Even Diane Day, I think he's pretty funny as Gustav Graves. Like, look, sheets for the both of us. Oops, not anymore. I'm like,
as they say in fencing, what's the point?
He's funny. He's funny.
What is happening?
I love it.
But he doesn't. You know what? It's a movie replete with cheese, but his lines are very juicy, and he's delivering them very well. He's delivering them very well. You know, it's because you beat me, Mr. Bond. It's just a bit of fun, Miranda. they've wrecked. It's just a bit of fun, Miranda.
Oh God, he's just
that's
so great.
You know what? That's the thing about being a James Bond fan. We were talking about Martin Mulder's plans of fingers crossed. I think it's spring 2022, Las Vegas, and you think about a Diamonds Are Forever celebration. Is that maybe really like everybody poops on Diamonds Are Forever, right? But it's Las Vegas. We'd be among friends. We'd meet new friends. We'd reconvene with people we know personally. We'd meet not new people, but people we had never shaken hands with before.
I've never been. You've never been.
I've never been to Las Vegas, and it's one of those things where it's like when you're in the community, when you're amongst fans and friends, it's like Diamonds Are Forever, man. Hey, the elephant plays the what do you call those? The slot machine.
Slot machines.
It's great. It's a great scene.
We could actually play blackjack with Joe Darlington, because we learned everything from Joe's video. Actually, I did learn not to pay insurance in blackjack thanks to Joe. The first time I played, I'm like, I'll pay insurance. And Joe, I think, if I remember correctly on this video, he says, you should do that. It's kind of...
Well, Joe tends to know what he's talking about when it comes to a few things. Games, mixology, drinks and mixology. There is a part of me, a little part of me, that misses the early days of being James Bond. And not that the content he produces these days isn't good. I love it. But there's a part of me that misses the early days when the episodes really were being James Bond. I remember, I'll never forget, the clincher for me was when he did an episode on skiing. Back in the day, I skied pretty regularly. Skiing is kind of like a bicycle. You don't really forget how to do it. But I haven't skied in a few years.
I haven't skied in almost 30 years.
Well, that could be a little different. But I remember going, okay, well, look, I ski pretty regularly. This is back in the day. It's a good show so far, but this is the one that'll tell me this guy knows what he's talking about. I was like, yeah. Yes, everything. Yes to everything. So I remember that. This is, God, a decade ago? No, this would be more than a decade ago.
It started in 2006, so I do believe it's at the tail end of his first series of video. It's one of the last ones. He took a few breaks here and there, but I think the first series, that's like the tail end of the first batch.
So once he got the skiing down, Pat, I figured, well, I'm going to assume he knows about gaming and mixology and this and that. We got some people in the chat room. I got a few people.
I got some people. We got Steven Savoca.
Simon Drake.
He's great in Lost in Spaces. Toby.
I haven't watched that yet. I haven't gone.
You really?
I'm very bad when it comes to as Jason would, if he were here, he would confirm. I'm very, very bad when it comes to. I guess we still call it television, even though it's so different. But I still call it TV. I'm very bad with TV. I'm very bad with TV. Yeah. I'll be like, yeah, I watched a couple episodes. It's a fantastic show. So what do you think of episode 3? I haven't watched it yet. Well, when did you watch episode 2? Like a month ago? I don't know.
I'm still working my way to watch Star Trek: The Next Generation. I think I started like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm at season 4, episode 9. 5 years, it's like, you think about how many.
Oh, you take summer breaks.
I watch one episode every once in a while. You know what? I am more a movie fan, and I prefer like 90 minutes to 2 hours max, in and out in an evening.
Yeah, there's something reassuring I find personally. You know, we're all wired differently, but there is something I find reassuring about the knowledge that I can go into something.
Oops, sorry, I kicked the.
Hello. The knowledge. I think we can barely see you anymore. We can just split the difference. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Actually, that's actually a little bit better than what we had going on.
Yeah, actually.
We're doing, as Zaritsky would say, we're doing this live. This is real life, people. From the Bond experience. But yeah, there is something reassuring about going into a theater or Netflix or a DVD. And knowing that in anywhere from 90 minutes to, if necessary, 180 minutes, I'm going to get a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that's the story.
That's why Bond movies are so great. You can watch one every evening for a month and then start over. Take weekends off.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what's the last one you watched?
Well, we did, the last one I watched was the Zoom meeting we did.
Attack.
Yeah, Attack. So that was a couple weeks
ago. 3 weeks ago?
2-3 weeks ago.
It was fun.
It was fun. Who was there? Me, you, Jason,
me, Jason,
Emery,
was Emery?
No, Emery wasn't. Excuse me, Peo. And
Carmine was there.
Carmine was there. Right. Live and Let Drive. And Peo doesn't have his platform. Peo doesn't need his platform. It's just say Peo.
Drummer Peo.
Drummer Peo. That's he's got it made. He's got it made. I did like the coffee video though, where his significant other.
Oh, that was so funny. He's always, because he used to be a barista, and he's very Fleming-esque about his coffee, and he says, "Oh, I love this brand. It must be brewed this way." And his boyfriend, actually, as a prank, kept the switch packaging on him. And after a week of him not drinking his proper brand, asks him on the video, "Do you like your coffee?" And drummer Peo, buddy, says, "Yeah, why?"
There's a little hint of worry in his eyes.
His boyfriend says, "Yeah, I switched brands on you," and he shows him, "Look, it's this coffee. I don't remember which brand. I think it's Maxwell House is the one he doesn't like, and he's been drinking
Maxwell. No, he doesn't like Maxwell House.
That's the thing. He was drinking Maxwell House for a week.
Loved it.
And loving it apparently.
Caught on video. This is documented. Peo, je sais pas si t'es là, but this is documented, okay? You were caught red-handed. I don't remember the name of his significant other, but merci. Thank you very much for explaining
that. Was a classic.
Back to the James Bond complex.
Yes.
Hello, dear listeners and viewers. Welcome to the James Bond Complex, the podcast where we discuss, rejoice, and analyze in the James Bond phenomenon in all its shapes and forms, from Fleming to films and everything in between. Ooh.
That's the I wanted.
Yeah. That was in the early days.
Yeah, when you told me, because I never, at first I didn't know why you were doing that. I'm like, it's fine.
Whatever.
And when you explained to me, I was like, seriously? Might as well. Can you regale and tell the listeners who you're quoting?
Well, it's one of the most important. I mean, the real Bond fans, the true diehard Bond fans, know that this is one of the most important bits of dialogue in the entire franchise. It's from Thunderball, when Bond and Domino are having conchata. And I can't, what does Bond say? But Bond tries some sort of pass at her, and she just goes, "Oh." I was like,
"Oh, I just happen to love controller."
Oh. And I thought that was just, I mean, Domino is such a well-written character and such a well-acted character, and it's such an apropos answer that, ça m'a marqué. Axel House should be illegal.
From the Bud West.
Yes, Bud the Bon Brain West. I can neither confirm nor deny.
You're more Lavazza?
Yeah. Lavazza boy, Lavazza man.
I've been changing my brands. I used to drink the coffee from Bulk Barn. I recently switched to Tim Hortons because they had a special. I had 2 bags for I think 10. I remember it was a special. I'm like, I'm gonna try. It's not bad, but I want to try Lavazza next time because I've been drinking
this morning.
Yeah, and
how do you like it?
I like it, but I prefer my brewing technique.
Toi, tu fais à la française avec la presse française.
No. I'm doing drip coffee now.
Oh, okay.
I bought a drip coffee, kind of like Fleming, and not the key mix, because the key mix is like $75 for that glass, and you know me, I have to be very careful because I'm gonna break things accidentally. Greetings from the Caribbeans, informe James Bond.
Wow, that's very nice of you to join us. Could you send us?
Enjoy the sun for us, the heat, because it's -6 this afternoon, which is quite mild. Tonight, it's -17.
Thank God there's a Super Bowl.
Yeah, thank God there's a curfew also.
Yeah, today's one of those days where I wouldn't, or I don't mind the curfew that much. But this ain't the COVID curfew.
Yes,
it's your live stream, man. We talk about that.
Do you want to move things along and do the draw for La Books?
La Books. So, as some viewers and listeners and people who follow us on social media know, in our brilliance, we came up with a new series called Fleming's Second Edition, basically we're going back to Fleming. That's what started the podcast. That's what, in its own little shapes and forms, continuously inspires the podcast, occasionally at least. So we said, well, let's go back to Fleming proper. They're damn good books. We're not enthralled with the Garners. We will finish them. They're there. I got my library. But let's go back to Fleming.
You know, what actually started? Did we discuss that? I don't remember when we started discussing it. I think last autumn. I don't remember what sort of
Fleming's Second Edition.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what sparked the idea? Well, let's go do the Fleming's. I don't remember the conversation that sparked it. I think as far as interest goes, it's just Fleming's just a damn good writer, and we were missing his writing. Because every time we do a Garner review, I feel we do our best to be fair and
not go,
just.
But Fleming wouldn't.
But it's always in the back of our minds. I guess that's going to happen.
I think it's a legitimate concern, but.
And it's so good. They're so good. They're too good. Yeah. And I mean, the last one in the bunch is not Man with the Golden Gun, Octopussy and the Living Daylights. And I was looking at the calendar. I mean, that's like an early 2019 episode or something like that.
The end of beginning of year 2.
Yeah, and we're entering year 4. So it's like, you know what? I got that itch, and you have that itch. And so we said, let's bring back Fleming. Let's go through the books again, but let's put a bit of a different spin on it. You know, the Reloaded is its own little spin on going back to the movies. Fleming's Second Edition will also be a spin on going back to the books. The spin in this case being we will have a guest to discuss each book. Early conversations were interesting, just in like, how's this going to work logistically? Well, who gets what book? I remember I came up with like a stupidly convoluted way to do the random draw. I don't know why. Don't ask, man. Don't even ask. So let's streamline. Let's simplify. Let's do the books in chronological order. Keep it simple. But the guests who will appear on the show, that will be at random. So we threw out the invitation to as many people as we could. Admittedly, looking at the stack of books, not all 14 books.
Yeah, This is lunch, and I don't know how regularly we'll be recording these episodes. To be honest with you, we still have Gardner. I still, as much as we sort of are lukewarm on some of his writing, I still want to finish it.
Oh, for sure. Oh, no. We're going to get through the Garners. We'll get through the Bensons. I actually read one tangentially for an older episode we did, Forever and the Deaf. It was good. I liked 0 - 10. It was solid. So we'll get through the Bensons. We have another Horowitz. We have Solo Carman. Anyways, we'll do them. If you're dead or alive, if you've written a Bond novel, we're going to talk about your book. But Fleming. You got to go back to Fleming. You need that juice. You need that that energy.
Spoiler, recently we took on, and I was so surprised, but it made me thirsty for more Fleming. We've finally discussed Trilling Cities, and to me that was it was really you're messing with me. It was eye-opening. I was lukewarm on it because I was like, it's a travel book. It's like more than 50 years old. Why would we read? But I had so much fun. I was like reading a Bond book, but without the action, the villains and everything. It had that flavor of little 50s, 60s, sort of colonial.
Oh, he's beaten some dirty, nasty people. Not everywhere, but in a lot of places. He's talking to a lot of women, and he may or may not. I guess there's some things you couldn't publish, but he may or may not be banging one in each city.
That's weird.
And he's gambling.
He's gambling.
It is a James Bond book. James Bond's not in the book, but it's a James Bond book.
His alter ego is.
Yes. This really kind of does feel like the argument, which holds a lot of water, mind, but the argument that James Bond is Fleming. This is like it's not really meta because it is Fleming, but it's like the end. Oh. It's the reverse version of that. It's like
we have a request by Mr. Zaritsky.
Oh, a request. What is the request?
To join us on our live video on Instagram.
Oh, you may, of course, sir. We are giving that permission. in our magnanimity, we're doing this. So we might be looking in this direction a little bit more for a couple minutes. Well.
I'm literally just saying congratulations. I just wanted to jump in and say hello real quick.
Afternoon, David. How's it going?
Good. When I saw the post about 3 years, I couldn't believe it because I have to be honest. I thought it was longer, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just that you guys are kind of an institution. You're kind of a foundation, and I'm like, certainly they've been around 10 years, 3 years.
Well, we do keep coming up with enough ideas, maybe to go on for at least, hopefully 10 years. It'd be nice.
It'd be nice. Like I've learned that actually James Bond Radio started on the same day 7 years ago. I was like, oh wow, February 7th. Who would have thought?
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day.
Was it 3 years to this day?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, insofar as the first episode was launched, we had a back catalog of recordings, and we had met in 2017. But yeah, the first episode, which was just sort of a random introduction episode of who we are.
The mission begins.
Mission begins. Yeah. Mission begins.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a bunch of people joined to congratulate you just now.
Oh, thank you.
It's called the Zaritsky bump. That's what it's called.
The Zaritsky effect.
No, it's just that everybody was making nachos for Super Bowl, and then they kind of looked up and they were like, "Oh, big fun."
Yeah, well, the Super Bowl was going to be played at noon today, but when they figured that we're going to have this live stream, said, "Okay, fine, we'll play at 6 or 6:30, whenever it is." So, man.
Everybody in all forms of entertainment, Marvel, Disney, decided we can't launch anything today.
No.
James Bond Complex is going live on Instagram.
I know, it's just and we appreciate them. We're humble. We appreciate this.
You are humble. Well, first of all, Canadians by nature and culture are humble, aren't you?
We try. It's a reputation.
It's French Canadian, not so much. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Now we're getting into some interesting conversations about how things go on up here.
Put that just that single word French in front of the Canadian. All humbleness goes out the window.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
No. I'm just.
It gets interesting amongst ourselves, Anglophones and Francophones up here. We're polite. We try to keep it a little diplomatic.
You've always been polite to me. Yeah.
Appreciate
Listen. I don't want. This is your show. I just wanted to again. I love you guys. Everything that you do. I've been honored to be on your show, and you guys just you don't ask for anything. You give. So this is maybe a day where we can give back and say congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice. Great sweater episode. Great sweater.
Oh
episode.
yeah, actually, I was watching that, eating breakfast.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Mike,
I'm just starting to get my man feeling back.
that Diana the sweater,
That's
man.
a good sweater. That's a good sweater.
I love that one.
That's a cozy sweater. Yeah. They knew what they were doing. They made it done.
Unbelievable.
All right, guys. Listen, go have fun on the show. I'm going to watch the rest of it from the spectator seats.
Thank you. Ciao.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
And there we have it.
Okay.
As the man himself would say, we are doing this live.
Hold on, because the charger. Okay.
You got it?
Okay, it's charging. No, it's not. Is it? Oh, it's not. Its cable's wonky, so okay. I think it's charging now.
That's all right.
Sorry, guys. Just making sure. Okay, it's charging.
Yeah, I know where I plugged it in a little bit more. So there you have it, David. Oh, if you were on YouTube, those couple minutes were probably a little bit weird, but it was awesome for us. So
back to
the draw. Right.
Yes.
Draw. Yes. So essentially, we're going to do this draw right now. Actually.
Yeah. Do you want to show the people the?
This is a baseball hat.
A baseball hat.
What is it? Baseball hat, but. It is a baseball hat for a hockey team, the Montreal Canadiens. Which did I make this? Who did I? No, I didn't do that. Back when I was posting things on Facebook, I did announce officially that even though I am a native and resident Montrealer, I don't cheer for this team anymore.
Yeah,
bastard. I've abandoned the Montreal Canadiens. They are official. I'm not even joking. They are no longer my team. I've had enough. I can't stand it anymore. And something, a magnificent beast swept in and stole my heart.
This is not happening. This is not happening.
I don't remember if they're starting this year or 2023, but I am a Seattle Kraken. Release the Kraken.
That's a cool name, though. I do admit it's a cool name. I'll still cheer for the Abs.
Well, if you enjoy losing, that's fine. You can't stop.
I don't watch sports all that often. Like I watch one game of football per year, and I actually enjoy football.
Tonight's game.
Yeah, it's tonight's game, but it's just watching in my own living room, and I've learned the rules of football rather late, but I enjoy the sport, but then I don't root for a particular team. But that's enough of sports. The sports segment of the James Bond complex is
we got a
done.
Zoom going on tonight. Yeah, we're doing all that, and I'm sure during half the game we'll be talking about James Bond. So essentially, in this hat are
names. Six names.
I can count. Yes, I can. 6 names.
6 books.
People
here. If you're looking, you have 2 screens. They're here. That's weird.
So, and we brought out the sexy ones too.
Yes.
The Austin Bauer. We'll show them as we go along. We brought out.
You don't have the art cover for. That's the one you lent?
Looking for. No. The one I lent is the pulpy cover, which I repurchased.
You know what? I'll check because I gave one to my brother.
We're talking about this.
And I don't know if it's the art cover. I'll verify if it's the art cover. If it is, I'll ask if he wants to trade. I don't think my current brother is going to care because I don't think he's ever read that book.
You think your brother has the hardcover?
I don't know. I gave it to him years ago. I don't remember which version.
It's yours.
No, I gave it to him, but he hasn't read it. I know my brother. Like I says, oh, you want to practice your English? Here's Bond. And okay, he's gotten better with his English because I'm the middle child, and my brother and sister don't necessarily master the the English.
Neither do you, apparently.
Apparently, I don't. The English language as much as well as I do, because I come from a mostly francophone community and family. I just learn English through comic books and movies.
Pas grave, les astuces d'anglais.
C'est d'anglais. Anyway, so we'll start with Casino Royale.
Yeah. So there are 6 names in this.
Are you gonna pick or yours? Okay. He's raffling.
I am raffling.
Okay, and if it's possible that people will want to either switch books or won't be able to make it, so that's also why I didn't want to do all 14. It's going along for people watching, and there might be some change.
Could be some changes, scheduling and this and that. We're trying to be flexible with this to the best of our abilities, of course. So, Casino Royale, who will be on the show for this? Is the OG. It begins with this is the source material.
Is that the signed copy you have? Oh no, you don't have a signed copy of this book that was printed in 2006.
Actually, this is 2009.
2009,
because it's the soft cover.
Okay.
All the other ones are the first editions, but the first editions of the
it's a beautiful. You know what? I'll be on the lookout for a hardcover of this edition.
I want to be very honest and fair here. If you gave your copy to your brother,
no, I don't. I gave my brother a copy, not my copy.
Okay.
I only have
copies of a hardcover.
No, I only have one copy of the Fleming books. I don't over collect the same book over and over again.
Who would do that?
I'm not crazy. Like certain people.
Library, but God, I got 1, 2, 3. Oh, we'll get into that in a few minutes. But a friend of the show has finished a Bond book. So Casino Royale.
Who do we have?
Oh, well.
That's actually a good pick. I'm so glad.
It is Bill Koenig, none other than
the Spy Commander.
The Spy Commander.
It's the Spy Commander.
Not his real handle, but whatever.
I prefer calling him the Spy Commander because it fits him.
So do I. In fact, if you listen to our show, if you don't, welcome to the but if you listen to the show, just literally, this week was Black Book. So the
past 2 weeks was Michelle with Bill, and I'll just put it inside the cover so we don't lose it.
It's a good thing this is a 2-man operation.
So Bill is doing...
That did not even cross my mind.
That's a good start, because Bill is like a mine of information. I used to think I was the king of pop culture, and I had like all this trivia in my head. Then I met Bill. Then I realized I am the jester of pop culture, or even below that, I'm like the deuce of pop culture.
Because we've had a couple podcasts, but a couple face-to-faces with Bill. The first one was under very curious circumstances. He was spending a night at an airport hotel in Montreal. He was coming back from a business trip. This is obviously a couple years ago. And on my personal Twitter account, which I don't use anymore, we had already, someone on Twitter, that kind of no.
I knew that you were in Montreal.
Yeah, no. And he reaches out to me saying, you live in Montreal. Like, I'm going to be spending a night in Montreal. Would you like to actually meet face-to-face for once? And that's, I talk to you, and you talk to Jean, so on and so forth. And so we go to this airport bar, a hotel bar.
Yeah.
Hotel bar. And very lovely person, Bill. We love him dearly. And but that's, yeah, I know what you mean by.
I was like,
just like, what is happening?
you know your stuff. And I'm like, oh. And he's sort of methodical in his.
He's a journalist.
Yeah, he's a journalist. It shows like he's very, and he loves facts. He just gets off on it, and I do also love. Like I'm curious.
He's still DMing us on Twitter about more Mission Impossible information. He showed us the. I guess
on Twitter.
He showed us the pic of the episode where Jim Phelps is looking at Bruce Keller's picture and like tosses it. It's like that episode came out 2 weeks ago. He's still
Eventually I'm going to pull the trigger and get that collection. So, I realized I'm going to watch it maybe once from beginning to end. After that, I can lend it to my dad, and my dad will watch those because it's from his time.
Yeah, you were saying that.
And it's in French. The current edition that's on Netflix is also dubbed in French. For my dad, it's obviously more easy for him to understand. It's on his mother tongue. But I think I'll have to buy him a Blu-ray player because he doesn't have one, or give him my old one. Anyway,
I got one. I'm not. Well, I still have some.
No, you still have some discs. Don't worry. I need to equip my dad. It's because the pandemic is still raging, so
yeah,
he needs entertainment.
Speaking of, we'll get there when we get there.
So the next one is
Live and Let Die.
Vivre et laisser mourir.
Vivre et laisser mourir. Diane Fleming. I always think it sounds like
D'après Yann Fleming.
D'après Yann Fleming. So let's show the listeners.
Oh,
this, I mean, none
sexy covers.
None of these covers, like there isn't a bad one in the bunch. Like every time you pull one up, it's like, oh, I think this is my favorite. No, I think this is my favorite.
It's brilliant. I don't know if it's watercolor.
I don't know. It
looks like watercolor, at least to me. I'm not an art expert, but
well, the fact that I have these is why I have multiple copies of the book. These, I'm not even joking when I say these never leave the home, except if I move. They don't leave. They don't exit that door.
You know what? I'd love to get a poster version, at least one. It's actually very beautiful, or something. So Live and Let Die. Who's doing that one? Who's doing that one?
Oh, someone we know well.
Someone of her good buddy.
Someone that we used to know. It is Emery Cormier.
The intrepid 007.
There is only one. You know what? When I need a quick fix, when I need some help, when I'm in a jam, I need someone that's intrepid. I need someone it is the guy.
It is the intrepid.
Yes, of course.
Yes, we don't forget. So, Emery, if you're still listening, I don't know if you're sort of babysitting the kids, but if you're still listening,
I think it's called parenting.
Oh, it's parenting. What is that? Parenting. So Emery has Live and Let Die. Live and Let Die.
Which brings us to well, I guess I'll bring it up now. I had a obviously COVID social life. If there are any non-Canadians on this, I think most of them are not Canadians. We're a little strict on our rules here. So when we talk about COVID restrictions, we're not fetishing around. But COVID restrictions notwithstanding, I had an evening stroll with friend of the show, Nabil, who, as you may recall, I had lent
not this copy,
but
this marvelous
of Moonraker, and he finished it. He gave me back my Moonraker.
That sounds funny for some reason.
It does.
What did he say?
He was very gentle. He was very, very gentle with the book. He liked it quite a bit. He doesn't read much English, so sometimes, because Fleming is it's not complicated English, but I guess if you just don't read English a whole lot, it's a very classy and a little bit oldie Englishy.
There are some things that you might, some idioms.
He enjoyed it. He liked Krebs. He loved Krebs.
Oh, Krebs is my favorite in that book. I love Krebs.
He was pretty close to saying Krebs was his favorite too. He loved Galibrand. He liked the fact that James Bond is tossed in the ringer, so to speak, a couple of times in that book. He liked that, and he thought this was kind of funny. He liked Drax. He doesn't have a problem with Drax, but he did say like, this mofo is like obviously the bad guy. I wonder what the twist is. Like, no, he's just a Nazi. That's the twist.
There's no twist.
He's sort of like, okay.
But it's more. It's you kind of know from the beginning, but it's more tension when it's gonna blow up in his face.
Yes.
Sort of a thriller.
Exactly.
But,
Exactly. But he enjoyed it. So chalk up another positive review for Moonraker the book.
Who's helping us with this one?
Who's helping us? Well, it won't be Nabil, but a new friend of the show. Mike Reyes, journo interviewer and Bond expert.
Yeah, we did a debriefing with him, and the guy was so charming, so quick-witted. I really
very quick-witted.
Like he's more on Instagram, not on Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, no, we still go a little bit back and forth on Twitter. So we stayed in touch.
You deinstalled Instagram, I deinstalled Twitter. So you're only on Twitter, I'm only on Instagram.
It makes things just so much easier.
It makes it easier. At the same time, it's just that sometimes people message me and I forget that you don't. So I have to I reply a little bit too.
But you can send them to the email. I replied the email.
Yeah, no, but I'll have to forward you the messages sometimes.
That's fine. So Mike, if you're we'll DM you if you're not listening. But
it's a great pick for you. I mean, if you haven't read that,
I don't know. Did we talk about that? We talked about the movies, obviously. We talked about No Time to Die, and then at the time, the whole controversy about Wonder Woman going to streaming, which hadn't been released on streaming yet. I remember we talked about a lot about that stuff. I don't remember if we talked about the books.
I don't remember. I would have to re-listen to the episode.
My Grace of Cinema Blend, which is a very good, very impressive pop culture cinema website. They have their own podcast. I've listened to a couple episodes. They do good stuff. They do very good stuff over there. Cinema Blend and not Cinnamon Blend. Although they have a website too. Cinnamon Blend.
Yum, delicious.
Shall we mosey on to? We got 3 down, 3 to go.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a bit of a
you know what? This is there's a particular person. I'd love that person to get it.
It'd be really funny if that.
It'd be very funny.
Like, are you kidding me?
But yeah, diamonds are forever. I'll it's Fleming, so I like it. But I remember when we did our final tally of the Fleming canon.
Yeah,
we were both a bit lukewarm on this one.
I was.
Oh, the cover is gorgeous again.
Well, we can go through all 14, and I don't think we'd have a bad thing to say about the covers. But yeah, I know who you're talking about, and I know what event you're alluding to. And I watched it too. I don't know if I watched it live or the replay, but either or. A lot of the ideas and the arguments that were made on that live stream had me go, I'm kind of, I want to get into this one again. I want to get into this. I want to get into. I want to get into this.
In my nature, I prefer to love things than hate things. I don't, if I don't like something, I'm just gonna go. I didn't like the last couple of Star Wars movies. I'm not gonna spend hours making sort of.
Expending a lot of energy about why the movie's so bad, or why I didn't like it, or why it's pooping on Star Wars fans, and yada yada yada.
I'm just saying, I love the first 3 from the 70s and the 80s, and that's it. Yeah. So I'd rather, if I can learn to love this more, I'd appreciate it.
For sure. No, absolutely. I'm dying to read Diamonds Are Forever and to talk about it. The question is, with whom will we be talking about it?
Please dig in.
It's kind of funny when you're raffling 3 pieces of paper. Okay, this is interesting. This is going to get very interesting.
Oh, it's very interesting
because this is a brand new friend of the show. Somebody so new. When we got his email this week, we're like, "Oh, who are you?" Joey Horst. Welcome aboard, Joey. It's going to be our pleasure to make acquaintances. We're very excited to make your acquaintance. It was very kind of you to reach out to us in response to this invitation. We don't know who you are, which kind of makes this. It suddenly gives Diamonds Are Forever a bit of an extra frisson.
Let's do this, Joey. Welcome to the show. That's a thick one.
Bit of a heavy one.
That's a heavy one. It's from Royale with Love.
Russia with Love. Once again, I do like how they play with the fonts. We didn't really talk about the fonts, but this one strikes out in particular.
Oh yeah, but they do play with the fonts.
Yeah.
You know, there's some that are a bit more
some
chippy.
Tattoo.
Yeah, well, they're all tattoos, but they're fun. Like it clearly, clever artists made those.
The word love ends on her
nipple. No, breast.
Yeah, I was going to say something a little bit more crass, and then I said, nope, we're live. All right, so we have 2 names left.
Oh.
I don't even know who the 2 names are.
One I remember, the other I don't. So it's going to be a surprise either way.
I think I need another cup of coffee. I got 2 names left, and I don't remember who either of these people
So
are.
who's doing From Russia with Love?
It is. You say, what's her name?
Huh? Okay, I didn't. Mélanie Demers. You can run, but you cannot hide from your French Canadian heritage. Because Demers is a French Canadian name. So. Melanie. I'll be surprised if she doesn't speak a little French. Madame Demers. Can't wait to chat with you about From Russia with Love.
It's got ancestor.ca. Go to ancestor.ca. I don't know what you do on the website. Punch in your name, give them a drop of your blood, and
you may be related to Céline Dion. Who knows?
Blood goes, I don't know where the blood goes in, but
doesn't go in a machine.
It doesn't go in a machine.
No, I think you're supposed to mail it to them.
I have to mail them blood.
I think it's not blood. It's like your spit.
That's vulgar. I'm not going to mail them.
No, you just like swab the interior of your mouth.
So welcome aboard. In a sort of a sneaky way, Melanie has been on the show. She was one of the participants in the Christmas special. One of the more original. Not that the other participants didn't produce good content. Everybody produced good content. Hers was sort of like, okay, she
took.
She went for the brass ring.
Yes, she did go for the brass ring, indeed.
So we're left with Dr. Owen. We're left with one name. If this person is watching this live stream, I apologize. I literally do not remember who this person is.
So we had so many things to think about for this thing. I mean, look at the lights, the cameras. So pardonnez-moi. Okay, who do we have?
So we'll be talking, Dr. No, with of course,
Simon Drake.
Simon Drake, who's been I think no less than twice, because we sent out the invitation a couple times, mind you, but no less than twice showed interest, and I still couldn't remember that his name was in the hat. So sorry, Simon.
Sorry, it's just very distracting.
So there you have it.
Very excited about this.
It feels good to finally get this part done, because we've been talking about this and we've been tweeting about it.
It's almost 6 months, I think, since the first inception.
No, I think it was November when we sort of.
Oh, really?
Well, conversations happened before that, but the first time we told people that it was November, which is not that long ago, and time was fugit. And a lot happens in the holidays, but still, November, February, it's 3 months away.
The pandemic originally.
So it's fun to get this step out of the way. Now we got to schedule this stuff. We need to reach out to these people. We're not going to do a Fleming every month. We do want to get through the gardeners a little bit. So I think it will probably be sort of a every other month type of thing. Or look, if some schedules just needed to happen. Look, man, it's Fleming. It's an easy read. We'll do 2 in a month or something like that. We'll be flexible. We have to, because now we have people. We're committed to having people on this.
No, but the Fleming ones, I'm starting to know a lot. Like, I wouldn't say by like the back of my hand, but you've seen my research when we did the original Fleming Pass. I still have those.
Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, and plus you got more books. You got the
your research gives a run of how do you use that?
For its money?
Run for his money? Whatever. The dude that wrote that thing. Oh, you don't get it.
We're doing it live. So we have drummer P.O. watching us, and he's at work. Good, because work is made for these types of events or happenings. And on Instagram with the Gleaner saying, hi, it's 6:38. Prefer the vintage classic covers of the Bond novels, especially in 2012. We haven't discussed the many. That's something you mentioned you wanted to do.
The what?
The sort of covers of the Fleming books.
Well, first of all, it's.
I was lukewarm on it, but now we have a listener.
Surprised me as someone that's so artistically inclined. That would surprise me.
But it's as you stated, they were mostly like that. That would be something for the YouTube channel, I feel.
Sure, I have no problem with doing it for the YouTube channel. I'd be happy to do it for the YouTube channel. But I think it would be another angle on the history of Fleming, and it would be like our posters ranking, which is like a couple of years ago at this point. But that was like a fun episode too. Like,
and you know what? I think we could do one episode per book, all the covers, we
could go crazy with this.
That this is because what they're selling with each edition. Even go for the foreign markets in some cases. That could be fun.
Oh, I very much plan to go for the foreign markets.
Actually, you know that I'm thinking for the YouTube channel, not Instagram, YouTube. That'd be. I love doing that. This is fun.
Mm-hmm. So a couple weeks ago, this is secondhand, but in fairly sturdy shape is this book.
Show it to the other screen.
So this is essentially a 400-page brick that analyzes and studies. It's Ian Fleming's James Bond, annotations and chronologies for Ian Fleming's Bond stories by John Griswold, with some illustrations by George Almond. And it's akin to what you were doing back after this guy was like on crack when he did this. But I mean, the good kind of crack, because he produced this book.
Okay, I was doing that my research like in a few days or a week. It probably took months or years to write this, but I've looked through it and I'm like, oh my god, I wish I had that when I started the podcast, because it would have made my research so much simpler.
If the research is done, I don't know. I haven't read it very much. I'm a little bit busy with other duties, but having leafed through it. It feels like it's all there. Like, you know, you didn't need to do any of that. Actually, that's not true. I'm sure. I loved it when you came over and
with the
brought
booklets.
those. Yeah, no, that was fun. I like that.
Yeah, most of them they're lost. I think I threw them out at one point. I was like, what am I going to do with that? I still have the original documents in virtual form, but
that's something.
That's something. Still because I had I went crazy. I had birthdays of the people that were born the same year. I was trying to find elements that sort of corresponded to what was happening in the book. It just the insanity of it all. Good times though.
It was pretty. I was very impressed, and you felt like so into it. I was like, I'm just gonna let him do it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to kill his mojo.
Eventually, I dropped the birthdays because I felt like this is more or less pointless. But
that was a funny way to end. That was at the end.
Yeah, that was at the end. But just to give sort of remind people of how old those books are. So at one point, I think it was Bruce Willis's. I think he was born in 57 or something, the same age as Consular Troy in Star Trek: Next Generation. Which I'm like, one of them aged better than the other one, and I think the Consular Troy looks better than Bruce Willis does age-wise. She aged better, I feel.
Yeah, Bruce Willis looks a little. That's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's a little bit rougher.
He did a commercial for Die-Hard car batteries.
Yeah,
he looked a little. I was like, okay, I think you need to stop playing this character. Maybe.
Yeah, you if you need money, just
I was almost more from and again, like I have all the respect.
Is it better than Die Hard 5?
Which one is that again?
The one where he goes to Russia.
Right.
It's a 30 second commercial.
Exactly. It's like no, I guess I'd still watch Die Hard 5. I guess.
Oh, that's a rough one, man.
It's not very good.
It's not very good.
What are we? The Die Hard complex?
The Die Hard complex. The McLean complex. It's better.
It's smooth. So Someone's asking, what did you miss? Well, we patted ourselves on the back. We sipped some coffee. We had David Zaritsky for a few seconds, albeit via Instagram exclusively. And we did the draw for the Fleming second edition. We'll be reaching out to, we got Emery, we got Bill, we got Melanie, we got Mike, we got Joey, and we have Simon, who will be joining us. At this moment, they'll be joining us. What's
in the box?
You sort of sneakily.
I didn't sneakily. I just grabbed it. That's your move, eh? That's it. That's your move.
When I go under the table for something sneaky.
When you go low, you can go low.
Oh, you got it.
This is from my sister. These are, I don't know if you can, because they're sort of in a. They're 007 team cupcakes. Sister, they're actually mostly healthy because there's no sugar
I'm not averse to eating some junk food.
There's no sugar inside the cupcake. The icing on top, I can't. Oh, I'm sorry. The icing is just sugar and
it's all good.
Butter, but they're sugar. The cupcakes themselves with dates.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and my memory may be playing tricks on me. I believe there were 6.
There were 6. My sister had one. I'm like, we placed them in order. We jokingly said, one's Sean, one's George, Roger, Timothy, Pierce, and Daniel.
Who got eaten?
My sister, I believe, ate Pierce. And I
she
don't really
ate Pierce. I'm sure she enjoyed that.
I ate Daniel, technically. So
a little rough. Was it a little bit coarse?
It's a little bit like cigarettes and coffee.
Daniel tasted like cigarettes.
He's a smoker. I've seen,
really?
Yeah, I've seen pictures of him smoking cigarettes. So
who do we think is who?
I don't remember now.
Well, tell you what. If we look at these from this angle, I'm sensing a little bit of Raj right here. This is probably George because he looks like
it's messy.
No, just because he looks a little bit smaller than the other ones, and George only did one.
No,
so you can't forget him.
So this is Timothy, and this is
Big Sean because it's impeccable. It's the OG. This is
so have one. Have one.
I'm gonna have a Roger. Whoa! So you have George. You have Tim.
I'm gonna have Tim.
You're gonna have Tim. Sounds like we're eating Timbits.
I could.
These would be much. I'm assuming these are much better than.
There's so much icing. I don't know if you guys can see and look at the little tuxedo. Now we look serious.
Cheers.
Santé.
Santé, oui.
No.
I'm feeling smooth. I'm feeling sexy. I feel like I can take on the world.
I feel like I can strike like Thunderball.
Oh.
Can't believe it's 3 years, man.
This will be the final bite I'm taking during the live stream, don't worry. But yeah, no, it's let's get into that a little bit.
Sorry.
Let's get into that a little bit. We wanted to maybe.
Yeah.
No, there you go.
Don't just put it back under.
Ash, I should have brought some
something to drink.
Or something to
wipe your hands.
Wipe my fingers with.
You know, just lick your fingers. It's finger licking good.
It is finger licking. Thank you to your sister. They're very good.
I think it's VAA-AAA on Instagram. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
It's not complicated at all.
I'll put a post. I've taken pictures and I'll post it on the Instagram if people want to follow my sister.
Nice. So, James Bond complex, 3 years. Are there things in particular that have struck you about what we've accomplished, certain episodes. And mind you, favorite episodes can be for all sorts of reasons. Like I still remember sitting at that table playing Monopoly with you, even though as a podcast, it was dumbass move. It was still fun doing it.
Monopoly quote.
Monopoly quote.
If you guys go to the archives, that is the most bizarre. And this is an idea. I think I had the idea, made it's a game in 72 hours, and it's just it was a bizarre mash of Monopoly, sort of the quote game, and it was just bizarre. We had something else planned, and I
just show up.
I just showed up, and I must have looked like a madman when I.
Well, that was because that was fairly early days of podcast. We had recorded some episodes already. We had launched, in fact, but it was relatively early days. And that was my first taste of like, oh, Matthew can be a bit of a wild card sometimes.
Oh my God. I think it was like the summer after we launched.
Yeah, the spring or the summer.
Something like that. Because remember, it was mild, but not too mild. Oh my God. And I re-listened to that episode. I don't recommend it. It was not my finest hour. Like, it was fun. I think I still have some of the cards. I'm not sure. I might have thrown those out.
Really?
Yeah, but we're never going to play that again.
How do you know?
It's been 3 years.
We have a crew now.
It's been 3 years. You know what? I'll recreate it. I'll improve it. Mark II will be better.
Well, we'll work on it together.
Yes.
So it'll be a real James Bond complex game.
We can trademark and sell it.
Right. I'm sure that'll go far. But it's not James Bond. It's James Bond complex. It's different. You can't sue us.
Oh my God. Yeah. No. That's not my fight. The finest one. One thing that I remember is the first year. I think we applied to have a panel at Comic-Con.
Well, that was year one. Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, I didn't think we'd get in. To be honest with you, I didn't think we'd get a panel. we applied, and I guess our presentation. I don't know why, but we got in. We made a panel at the first.
Interesting. Oh, I acted was a camera operator on Majesty's.
Oh, really?
For real?
Huh.
You serious, bro? Interesting. We'll have to look into that.
As Mr. Spock would say, fascinating.
Fascinating.
Yeah, no. So that was a big. I still remember that weekend because you hadn't been to Edgar had never been to a Comic-Con.
I'm kind of allergic to that environment for starters. Although having you as a guide was not just appreciated, but necessary, because I don't think I would have known what to do.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I've been to many Comic-Cons. I've enjoyed it in the past, but after a while it becomes repetitive. It's always the same thing. And
we also that year one, we also spent literally the whole weekend. Year two, which we'll get to, I'm sure, we were a little bit more strategic.
Yes.
Year one was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh. And we had to stay all day Sunday because we were the last ones to present. So it really was all weekend.
All weekend. Which, it was fun because we met our first. Well, technically, George is our first Bond actor, but we met Julian Glover. I'm sorry, mistake. We met Julian and
I had an interview with him. We actually sat down and spoke with Julian Glover. Which, looking back, I guess because it was a few years ago, it's starting to get a little bit hazy. But no, man, we sat down and we
sat down. What a Bond villain! It's brilliant. Estados. We sat down with them. There was actually like a sort of a panel, and you were in line to ask a question, and somebody asked a Bond question before us, and we were both texting each other. Fuck! sorry, I cursed.
Feckish.
Somebody just asked the question. Oh, think of one, and I think we asked something about whether or not he had read the Fleming books, and he gave a very interesting answer. But in the end, he hadn't. He
was kind enough to develop. I think my mistake was.
Well, it's not your mistake. It's just that we.
Well, have you read the Fleming? Yes or no? You don't ask yes or no questions when in those positions.
Yeah,
you ask a question where you could develop the answer. I asked a yes or no question. He said no, but he was kind of like he's like, look, man, you've been waiting in line. I'll give you a little bit more meat here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the day after we took a picture with him. That was our first. No, technically it's all our second picture. But with George, we didn't take the picture with George. You and I to get with him.
No.
But that was it's our first Bond celebrity. Do you have that? Oh,
of course I do.
He's getting it. Oh, those are the precious Funko Pops. So that's the picture. It's Julian, me, and Edgar. That's Edgar. That's Julian, and that's me.
You look very.
I look very fat.
No, that's not what I was going to say. You look quite good in this. I didn't. The cravat.
No, it's wait. It's not a cravat. That's ascot.
An ascot. Yeah.
It's inspired by the outfit. One of the outfits that Roger Moore wears in View to a Kill.
No, it's a good.
No, it was a good time, and he when we because I made him sign the For Your Eyes Only poster that I bought for the occasion, and he remembered us from the previous day.
He did, yeah. No, he was a nice. I'm not going to start pretending that we know the guy or anything, but he was very nice and very
gracious,
patient, and he seemed really interested in. Well, he's there, but he seemed like. There was no vibe of like, okay, is this day over already? Like he was like, oh, you do a James Bond pod.
Very interested, very sort of sharing, communicating. There was no, I'm gonna paraphrase, but bitch guard. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, it was pretty. I think the girl had to check something or other, but it didn't take long, and they agreed to give us an interview pretty quickly.
I was just like, you know what? I think when you come at them with just audio, with no video, you tend to just, okay, it's fine.
Yeah, I wonder if we had video with us, they would have been a little bit more. I think it was also how these deals and these contracts work, but that was fun. He warmed my heart when he said, didn't he say something like Live and Let Die was his second favorite or whatever, something like that?
Something like that.
I think we asked him, like, well, you're not allowed to pick For Your Eyes Only. What's your other favorite? He said, like, Live and Let Die, which was like, great, I'm my best friend now.
I love Roger. He says, he passed away too young. He was a fun, a pleasant person to be around. So that was just year one. I haven't gotten to the panel. When we did the panel, man, we
haven't talked about what we did all that weekend, except from interviewing Christatos and doing a panel. The reason why we were there 3 days in a row was because we were dressed up. No, the gag is that we're dressed up as James Bond, although we were wearing. Well, you saw the picture. We're just cosplaying as James Bond. It's like what? People
didn't get it. No, people thought I was dressed up as the Montreal mayor.
At the time.
Because he was a chubby fellow.
He's a boxer now.
No, he lost a lot of weight. He's actually it's impressive. But yeah, we spoke with a few cosplayers, some people I knew, some friends of mine. The female Spock.
We interviewed a female. No, I think you interviewed.
Yeah, she's sort of a friendly. The Wolverine from Montreal X-Men.
Yes,
guy, that man is a gentleman because he has
a true gentleman.
Yeah, he has a sort of foundation for suicide prevention, and he's doing a lot of events. Lately, not so much because of the pandemic, but we also bumped into him at the concert for.
And again, he was very. The whole crew is very.
Oh, they're super nice people. They dressed up as Blofeld. One was dressed up as Mr. Inks. They had a few Bond girls. Just it was brilliant.
X-Men de Montréal. Officially, their name is X-Men.
Montreal X-Men. X-Men de Montréal. Yeah. So if you follow them on Instagram, yeah.
Did they not have? Because he was dressed as one of the versions. Wasn't there another Wolverine in the group? There were like two.
Yeah, there was.
Whatever.
There was the comic book Wolverine, and he's more like the movie Wolverine. Sometimes he dresses up in the wife beater. Sometimes he has like a uniform or World War II uniform. He has multiple versions of the Wolverine outfit.
Nice. We had Spock, Mrs. Spock, Wolverine,
the Klingon.
Oh God. Klingon. That's on video too. That's terrible.
I don't know if it's part of the edit though. I don't remember if because the guy was like, we asked him.
About being in character.
Hey, the guy was in character as a Klingon. He's like, I don't like spies.
Yeah, that was a mistake saying we were spies.
Ironically, in new Star Trek series, they have spies, the Klingon spies.
There you go. Whoever you are that played the Klingon that summer, so you could use this. Was it a Dalek?
The Dalek was so cool because that's a super British thing.
Yeah. So
we have plenty of pictures. There was a few Star Wars cosplayers. I took a picture with you with one of the Vaders.
Oh really?
Yeah, I have that.
So much happened that week, and I'm like, I don't know who I spoke to. I don't remember.
Oh, and I remember I dragged you to a steakhouse after all of that was done. And if you know Edgar, he doesn't like meat at all.
Well, I think the answer is a little bit more nuanced than that. Meat is delicious. I've simply made the choice to.
I'm teasing you.
But I don't remember what I had that night, but I'm sure it was fantastic. It's a steakhouse. The one thing they can't screw up is a steak, so it's like.
Yeah. And there was a gentleman, well, not a gentleman, but sort of a business where they bring snakes or pets or weird animals to sort of, I guess, schools and I had like a giant snake put on my neck, which is kind of bizarre.
Yes, that I remember. I remember that.
There's a video of that too.
That was pretty cool. And then finally, Simon, who's going to be on the show, has directed some films.
Really?
At the James Bond complex, we have filmmakers come on our show. No, that's super exciting.
He's retired from filmmaking.
Well, we'll get into your career. This is very exciting. This is very, very exciting.
I'll have to Google you now.
Yeah, everybody's Googleable these days. So, but no, awesome. It's good to know, Simon, and we're happy you're going to be on the show. We'll chit chat if you want to. We would like to chit chat a little bit about about your film career.
So that's year one.
Yeah, year one.
But the panel itself. I was so excited, and we had plans to film us, but somebody, I won't point to their direction, but somebody,
that person,
yes, that person, that person forgot to press record on the camera.
Tim.
Yeah, Tim. I was so nervous. I was not nervous. I would say excited and thinking about a billion things at the same time, and I put the camera thinking I would be able to press record, but I didn't. And the show started, and midway through it, I was like, "Oh, damn it! I forgot to turn on the camera."
On mic too. Damn it! No, I'm joking. It didn't happen on camera.
I know at one point, but thankfully your friend Rodrigo was there. He actually took the only picture that proves we did the panel that year. I love that picture. It's one of my favorites, actually.
Oh, we looked pretty. We looked good then.
Yeah. And it was good. It was a fun panel. I felt like we were two comics doing a show. Like, and we had
two comics every time we pressed the record button. To be honest with you, but
and we had that panel planned and tested because we recorded ourselves, listened, timed us. We were prepared perfectly, pitch perfect. Yeah. And that was just. I remember being elated. When we came back, I was it was just a pleasant. I was a little bit tired because we walked a lot.
It was a long weekend. a fun, enjoyable weekend. But it was, you can admit to having weekends that were great fun, but by Sunday night it's like, oh God, I'm dead. It's like, which was a little bit that feeling I had that Sunday night. But no, it was a fun panel, and it was a great idea. That was predominantly your idea, and we sort of took that, which was the Fleming scale. The Fleming scale, where we looked at the 6 actors and we filtered the criteria, kills and booms.
Controversial Fleming scale. I remember there was a lady that's like, when we said Timmy's the most Fleming-esque of all the Bonds, and she filmed us and said, say that to my friend. I'm like, okay. We didn't say it was the best. It's just the most Fleming-esque. These are two different things.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, exactly. Well, that was the thing about that presentation. The idea was to, in sort of like a semi-comical way, calculate scientifically, with numbers, which of the 6 official actors most resembles Fleming's Bond.
Statistically speaking.
Exactly, statistically speaking. The conclusion of the panel wasn't, well, this is our favorite Bond. No, this is the Bond. This is the actor that more closely reflects Fleming's creation, and we agreed fairly easily that it was
surprisingly, George was not. If I remember correctly, George and Sean are like neck and neck. George, because he didn't do much.
It's because of the book they intended for him. That's why he's so close. Roger was like, oof, it didn't go well.
Pierce is like a Jason Voorhees. He kills so many people in the movies. It's insane.
Yeah.
So that
was fun. That was good. I enjoyed that very much.
It was. Then we did our first Halloween special that year too.
First Halloween special, which was that was a funny one to prepare. So the Halloween special number 1, 2018, was so just a drive-by discussions, mini reviews of however movies we could think of that had Bond alumni in them. Whether it was something as brief as Lois Maxwell spending 30 seconds in The Haunting, or Pierce Brosnan in that, whatever it's called.
The Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
I know he did a horror movie, like an actual movie about ghosts, but Lawnmower Man, because of its Stephen King connection, is the one that comes to mind. What's the other one with the guy that plays Blofeld, that little movie with Jamie Lee Curtis?
Oh, the little independent movie.
Yeah, that movie.
Halloween, baby.
Halloween. That's his series. That's there's James Bond in Edgar's heart. Then right in the little corner there's Halloween.
And Alien.
Yeah. True. I see the books there.
Yeah, I have.
Oh my God! I never noticed you. Oh my God! You have wow.
Oh,
right next to them, you have Pacific Rim,
which is an awesome movie. It's cool. I like it. I like the design too.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't have more. Why am I the one that buys those books? Like those. Why don't you buy them? I feel like of us two, you're the one that should.
You know what? Because it's not.
Give you a couple.
No. Yeah, you gave me Batman v Superman.
It's about the art and the design.
The thing is, most of them people put those pictures online, so I don't necessarily need to.
I like the.
I have a few. I have the Nolan Batman ones. I have a few Star Wars ones. I have a few, but it's just that, like, I really need to love the movie in order to.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to start saying here. Pacific Rim is my 5th favorite franchise, but the design and Guillermo del Toro's reason behind it, I really like that a lot. I even have the book about the second one, which is far from a great movie.
I haven't seen the second one. That's
whatever. But again, the designs were kind of cool. But this is not the Pacific Rim live stream. This is the James Bond conference. So Halloween, yes. So that well, I don't know if we want to jump ahead a year. We have a few things that happened during the year.
A year or two, yeah. We could go through years.
We started doing those Christmas specials.
Yes.
We're up to 3. So 2020, 19, yeah. So the first one would have been 2018. By today's standards, a very modest Christmas special.
I can't even remember what we did.
It was.
Been so
What do you
long.
want? Again, you have to remember we're in the holiday season of 2018. It was a couple of years ago. Things have changed.
I think I now remember.
What do you want under the Christmas tree as a Bond fan? What do you want to happen in 2019? And like, what would you expect out of Bond 25?
Jesus.
At which time we did not know Bond 25 is no. It was Bond.
It was Bond
2018. It was Bond 25. Yeah. So that was Christmas special number 1, and we got people were kind enough to participate. Again, year 1 was very formative. We threw out requests for people to participate in an episode. We got some responses. We threw out a submission to be at Comic-Con. We got a positive response. Like a lot of things in their own modest way went our way in year 1.
Yeah. It's very experimental.
Yeah.
Like Monopoly is part of that.
Yeah, that was an experiment. Next time we played a board game, maybe we should film it. But yeah, so the Christmas special was a lot of fun, and although we didn't get a plethora of participants, we got a hand. I don't know how many exactly, about 5, 6, 7 people. It was a lot of fun. It was really nice. I think David was one of the.
David was one of them.
That might have been. I don't know, people might correct me. David himself might correct me. I feel like maybe that was the catalyst that made him realize who we are. Because we reached out to whoever the hell at that point. We didn't.
I think he had likened some of our posts.
I could.
But it's been 3 years and a lot has happened since. So if I'm mistaken,
2019. Was a pretty cool year. That was the year of the Casino Royale '67 April Fool.
That's if you haven't listened to that episode, it's one of our it's 2 episodes.
Don't we conclude it with we'll be back next week with a scene-by-scene analysis or something? It's like, what is happening?
Yeah, I think the first year was James Bond Jr. And for that day, I changed everything. The logo was James Bond Jr. Complex. I changed everything for that day. After that, I reverted back, but I really, as a prank, changed everything. But for kids,
which was a little weird because we had been born for 2 months. But whatever, the idea was good.
The idea was pretty funny. I took my time to recreate the lettering.
It was the James Bond colors and font and everything. It said James Bond Complex or whatever. It's James Bond Complex Jr.
James Bond Jr. Complex.
Yeah.
With the sort of logo they had for the cartoon. Sorry, the cupcakes.
James.
The second year was, as you said, because in Royale 67.
67, and not too long after that, because in April Fool's, April 1st, not too long after that in 2019 is the first James Bond. Oh, we're forgetting Casino Royale in concert.
Oh,
the first Casino Royale in concert. First been to 2.
But that was in
Toronto.
Oh, that
October 18.
October 18. My God.
Yeah,
sure. Oh, that was in the first year.
That was in the first year. Well, we didn't really need to do anything for that.
But, no, I know, but just that I completely forgot. To me,
so did I. Jason was with us. We had met up. He had been to Montreal, I think that summer, late in the summer. Although we hadn't seen each other, I think.
We hadn't seen each other. So he came to your place. We recorded an episode that some idiot accidentally erased.
No, that's the Spy Who Loved Me episode. There's stuff that unfortunately inadvertently went on the cutting room floor. That was the second time.
Oh man, I'm still sorry about that, Jason.
They were.
You know what? We'll do better the next time.
I feel we know better. We know better too.
Yeah, and our chemistry. I think it's going to be better. I think Jason has improved himself. He's a little bit more comfortable behind the mic.
Jason's fantastic right now.
Yeah, I know, but initially he was a little bit more nervous.
When you haven't done it yet.
Yeah,
now it's your first time. You're
he's
nervous.
So good that he actually cheats on us with other podcasts.
Yes, Donnie Waldron, Quantum of History, went so far as to lambast him as a whore, which I Don't know if I'd go that far, but that's Donnie for you. Start listening to an episode of Quantum of History. You know you're going to get a pee-pee caca joke, a pootie tang joke like 10 seconds in. When the Goldfinger episode is like, well, when is it going to... Oh, well, didn't take that long. So there was Casino Royale in concert. Now, there's maybe a little
that was an
when we
awesome
say that,
weekend.
There's so many because it's a tour.
Yeah.
It goes around the world. So,
I got my copy of that famous Playboy from On the Majesty,
which eventually got
signed by George Lazenby, thanks to James Bond Quebec, aka Jean Goyette.
It always goes back to George. Always goes back to George.
George is the key. George is the clé de voûte.
But that was a fun weekend as well. We'll get to Operation Snowfall, but the first Casino Royale in concert in Toronto in October of 2018 was a lot of fun. I remember the day we just walked around Toronto going in used bookstores. Well, it wasn't the whole day. It was like the morning or whatever. That was a lot of fun. And seeing Jason again was fun, and we were all dressed very well, dapper, as the British would say.
When I was wearing my three-piece, you're wearing your. There's that picture where you look kind of pissed off because we were trying to take pictures in front of the Aston Martin, and as you took a step, I took the picture, and it just looks like the most badass picture ever.
Pure accident. So let's go back to 2019, our first. Right, that's what made me remember Toronto. Because I was about to claim New York as our first trip as a podcast, but that's not true. Toronto was the first trip. New York happened in May of 2019. June, May? And that, you're right there.
There's somebody, Benjamin Paulette.
Hello.
Saying, stop it. Hello.
Say like Pennywise the Clown. Hello. So New York.
New York.
That was a glorious weekend.
The weather was so good, and it just bang, 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 bang. First off, we get off the plane. We take the taxi, and we finally made it to our hotel.
The St. James.
It's true. It was St. James. And then we were in touch with Joe Darlington, said, would you want to meet up? And we already made some contact to him. He's like, let's have a beer at the hotel from the St. Regis. So I hadn't slept that night before. I was worried
reasons we won't get into.
I was so nervous.
It was a hell of a week for you, man.
That's true. I forgot about the passport thing. Oh my God. I had to redo my passport 24 hours before we departed. It was just not fun. So finally we get in. We had lunch at the Oyster Bar in the Grand Central Station.
Oh yeah, we went in Bond/Fleming mode like in the first hour.
We had drinks at the St. Regis with Joe. That was super fun. We chatted.
Joe came back to our room.
I gave him a bottle of Canadian whiskey, I think, if I remember correctly.
Crown Royal? Was it a bottle of
Crown Royal? Big one.
Yeah.
So we after that we went to the Spice-Scape.
Yeah, we spent Friday night at which was probably a good decision because I remember it being completely dead.
Oh, there was nobody.
Friday night, downtown Manhattan. Who goes to a museum like this?
And
we did.
I was so exhausted, man. I was not doing well with the tests, anything. Like I ended up being at the same thing you were
a handler.
Like there's a laser room where I just, you know what, I'm just gonna. I tried for 5 seconds, and I'm like, forget it. I'm just gonna walk.
The surveillance game.
That was the surveillance game.
That's a good game. Spice-Scape. We know you're listening. We know you're watching. Don't get rid of that. Keep that.
That was fun.
Do what you want with the rest. Well, no, maybe keep the imitation game thingy.
You mean the
I don't know what it's called with the computer.
The Enigma machine.
Enigma machine. Yeah. Keep that and the surveillance game at the end. That's an awesome game. I really had.
No, so
despite the fatigue, was a freaking awesome game. I really liked that. Maybe that says a lot about me.
And then we after that we that's the end. We ate the last.
Well, there was the second reason why we went to. Well, actually, no. Really, the first reason why we went to Spicegate,
the Aston Martin
was for driven times 007.
Driven by 007 type of thing. Just stuck our heads inside.
We went through the back door, then realized I think this is the end. We need to go the other way around. We were tired.
And just the car, smelling the interior.
Yeah, it was. Although I think you were the one that pointed it. I can't remember, but I thought it was like a replica of the '64, but it's actually the GoldenEye.
Yes,
Aston Martin, because the Bollinger is.
I think I don't remember how I know that. It might be some video that I saw from somebody else. It might have been inside the presentation, but I knew it was the 1995 stick shift that actually allegedly Pierce Brosnan broke on his first. Yeah, he sort of oops when he shot the scene.
Did you get a whiff of the boudoir of sex when you?
I wish you could bottle that and just like spritz it. It smells like it's 1960s leather and 1995 sex and wine. I don't remember.
This is the car Famke Jansen's eyes were on. This is the one she was looking at. She didn't go in it, but she looked at it.
She looked at it.
I'm looking at the cars she looked at.
We're looking at the same thing she looked at. Wow.
That was fun. The rest of the the rest of the Driven was left a little bit to be desired, but the main show was on.
The main star.
Oh, absolutely, unquestionably. So I mean, they gave some respect to Ken Adam, and which was fine. And then the last room was
we have a video on all that entire trip. If you go on the YouTube channel, it's one of my I've been to New York City I think 5 times in my life, and this is by leaps and bounds my favorite trip. Because Edgar, I'm a heavy set guy, but Edgar knows that now. I can walk like a mother fecker,
like a Terminator.
Yeah, like a Terminator. We went through to New York City back and forth. Yeah, but we went through. There's a day I don't know. I think 30,000 steps.
Well, I don't remember how many steps, but we did a lot of good. I remember there was we walked a lot all 3 days, but I remember the Saturday being the day where we basically went from the equivalent of Central Park to the southern. We saw the Statue of Liberty, we did that just on foot. But it was a beautiful day.
Yeah, beautiful day. We saw the Ghostbusters fire out.
It's true. We did see the Ghostbusters fire. That was a lot of fun, actually. Didn't someone spray paint the logo on the ground or something? Yeah.
There's 2 logos, I think. It was a brilliant trip. I must say,
shook hands and had breakfast with Matt Spazler from Suits of Bond.
I love Matt. Matt was such a I invented the Karen Bain expression because
he did it for us.
He did it for us. So Matt, if you ever come to Montreal, we'll Carry Bain you. He took us to Central Park and was giving us pointers on this building this person lives in, and this person used to live there.
And this and that. Yeah, no, I mean, if you read Bond's Suits of Bond, I think it's bondsuits.com, excuse me. If you read his website, it's extremely informative. It's very detail oriented. It's well written. Also, he's a good writer when it comes to that stuff. But that's sort of one version of him. I felt being in his elated himself, being in his presence. You do get the sense that he is a very cultivated person.
No,
he's a very sophisticated mind, and a mind that has an appreciation for the arts and for style and for class and for history. He really tends to. That's the impression he gave, that he really digs that stuff and knows his stuff too. Because
a bit like Bill Combing.
Yeah, exactly. Replace comics and
Pop
American
culture.
television with like architecture and the history of design and clothing. That's like Bill. Or that's Matt. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, we know two people who are like the synapses just go off when they go on when they get into that topics. Yeah, it's interesting. So
that's New York. After that, there was Comic-Con 2.0.
Comic-Con 2.0, bigger and better.
That's when we met the legendary, the epic.
Kamashita.
Also,
if he's watching,
I think I saw him pop for a second, but it's Jeff Weibel. We did the presentation that second year with him, and just
almost as legendary as Carmine.
Almost
misses it by that.
I mean, if you meet Jeff Weibel, Jeff is like a firecracker. He has great comic timing. He made me laugh so much that weekend. And someone I always look forward to seeing because he makes me laugh. He's great to have around. And they sent just him and his wife, his lovely wife Shannon, had a child, their second child, not too long ago. So I have a nephew. He's about 6 months older. So I bought him a jumpsuit, a baby suit from the 007 store. I sent those to Jeff, and I actually have now a little baby tuxedo that my nephew can't wear anymore. So you might, Jeff, you watch this, you might get a baby tuxedo soon.
It's a little bit small for you.
It's a little bit small for you, but
give it to the little one. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. There's a little bit of bond in all of us. Bring it out with a mini tux.
Baby tux.
Baby tux. So no, Jeff was a really swell guy, and I remember, we met face to face on the weekend of, because we're all a little bit busy. He made it for the weekend, but we had Skype or Zoom or whatever. But we had online video meetings with.
Yeah, we did some dry runs for the virtual presentation,
and I think those dry runs sort of like gave us a good impression of who Jeff is.
It's the same. I forgot that's the same year we met Jean Goyette.
Yeah, Jean Goyette,
the epic Jean Goyette with the collection that's still.
It's like a soft rhyme. Epic Jean Goyette, the soft rhyme.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
But Jean Goyette, who we would be remiss to not mention. He was there for Comic-Con 2.0, but he's also become friends. So to be in fairness, we probably should mention him.
James Bond Quebec on Instagram,
who has a very impressive.
Yeah, that's why I call him Epic Jean Goyette. We saw his collection. It's like, oh, this is cool. Oh,
the moment, right up there, way up there in the corner of the library, for which you need, maybe rightfully so, you need a ladder to get up there. He has two, not one, two.
So when I saw it, I remember I was like,
yeah,
it's like I saw a ghost or
God.
God, I saw God, and I was like, look.
First editions of Dr. No and From Usher With Love.
Love.
First editions. Like the telltale signs are there, year, publishing house, but there are letters like A, B. The experts, we're not publishing experts, but the experts will let you know what edition is this. Those were first editions.
And not first print, but they're first edition for sure. Just that you can smell the age on them.
We have them. I haven't washed my hands since.
You might want to get those checked. Might be health hazard. It's been a couple of years.
There's a lot more than COVID on these things.
Jesus.
But no, that was a lot of fun. So he was at Comic-Con 2.0. Jeff, obviously, because he was a panelist with us, and that was we took it a little bit easier on ourselves. We didn't go like crazy insane with a bunch of numbers, although that was fun. But what we did was, 2009 happened to be anniversaries for 4 films: Majesty's, Moonraker, License to Kill, and War Is Not Enough. So we sort of little bit of 4 movies, and there were 3 of us, but whatever, we made it happen. And we went through all 4 movies and talked about 1 or 2. No, actually, we did get pretty clever. We said, what's controversial? Why would people poop on, for example, Majesties? We're going to spin it. Why is Majesties awesome? Why would people poop on License to Kill? No, this is why it's awesome, actually.
Certainly, yeah.
So it was well done. It was well
fun.
done.
So half of the presentation is on James Bond Canada. Half is on our stream. I thought it was clever to split in 2. After that, we had and we couldn't replicate it this year. I was saddened, but we had Let's Bond.
Yeah, well, just before we get to Let's Bond, we gave alcohol to Damien Falcon.
Jesus.
I don't know if we should say that.
No. Let's just say we met. We have a picture of us with Michael Masden from Die Another Day, and he was super nice. He was super nice.
He was. No, I don't. I went a little bit, controversial there, but no, he was very nice. To be fair, it was very enjoyable. He told us things we should also not repeat.
Yes,
but it was worth it.
Had a good time, man. Like I'll cherish that interaction for the rest of my life.
And that we also met Carmine.
That's me. And Carmine,
last but certainly not least,
Carmine is
forgive us.
the teenage child I'd never had. And I made him, like we had a discussion last night, and I made him realize, I'm almost the same age as his mother. Like I'm 4 years younger than his mom. So I'm like, you do realize I see you like a teenager. Like you're like,
oh, he is legal.
Huh?
He's not a teenager.
Oh, no, he's not a teenager anymore. But
back then
he was, and since then he's become an adult legally. But he's special. Like he's a little bit all over the place, but he has that energy that's just like I just want to pinch his cheek.
Yeah. He's very enthusiastic. He loves his Bond.
He loves his Bond. He loves to talk. Hear me. He loves to talk, but he doesn't necessarily always listen.
That's another.
But that's part of his charm, I guess. You just have to take it like he is. Not everyone. As I always get, we're teaching him how to live.
To the best of our as non-parents, we're teaching a child how to live. Good on yay us. If he makes dumb mistakes later on, we're
not our fault. Not our fault.
I was about to say the opposite. You should probably get in touch with us. So yes, now we can talk about.
That's
not that I want to control the conversation, but that's we can't go over Let's Bond.
Yeah, no, we can't. If you're in Montreal, or if you come to Montreal, or he's not even 19. Jason just joined us. He's 18. He's going to be 19 in March, if I remember correctly. A few weeks.
Yeah, it's like early mid-March.
Something like that.
Yes, because Operation Double Bourbon, his birthday, which was like early. It had to be because we were still open. And his birthday was like the next week or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Jason, what up, by the way? If you have any questions for the show, Jason, you can ask them through Instagram. Let's Bond. Let's
Bond, man. Jason, if there's whenever you're able to, you have to come to Montreal for that. It's sort of a group of people in Montreal, sort of how do you say OSBL in English?
Organism. A non-profit
organism,
fundraiser
for mental health. They found a local hospital that specializes in
the Douglas, which has its own psychiatric institute. So that's actually not too far from where you live, and the La Fondation Jeune en Tête, which is concentrates a little bit more on educating and sensitivity of health, mental health related issues in teenagers and youth.
Yeah, they have actually a Bond building. I realize because I walk sometimes on their ground. They have lovely grounds. It's a beautiful place to
They
walk
do
around.
have a Bond building. Yeah, I noticed that. I've seen it. I've walked.
But it's it's a beautiful place to walk. But every year until the beer bug, they used to organize an event called Let's Bond, and every year they had a different theme. It's always inspired by the universe of James Bond. And the last event, which took place in 2019, and hopefully not the last event ever, but the last event that we were able to go was themed around Octopussy.
And specifically the palace and the circus and octopi
and I was like, I think I described it as if Octopussy was organizing a party at the time in 2019 to celebrate something.
Yeah.
Herself.
Whatever.
This is what it would have looked like. Everyone is dressed to the nines.
As were we.
Yeah, as were we. There are pictures also and video. There's a video of, if you want to see what the event looked and felt like, there's a video on our stream. It just, and some of the ladies, I just, man.
It was a very eye-catching evening.
Yes.
It was a very eye-catching evening. I know it's a little bit unfair for the non-Montrealers in the live stream. No, we have this thing, but it's so impressive. And even then, you go, but this is a really expensive. How much money is going to the charity? Like, they raised $500,000 for these charities, and $500,000
to get us. And you have to be very quickly. You can't say, "Oh, maybe." No. When the tickets come on sale, you have to pull the trigger almost immediately.
Yeah,
it's
pretty quick. As a matter of fact, as I recall, the 2019 edition. That was almost the year where it took like the most time to sell tickets because some were still available like a day or two later.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, we're having trouble selling these. It took like 2 days.
So yeah, you pay your, to be fair, it's expensive, it's $200, but when you get in, you don't have to pay for anything. There was complimentary food. Except for the hangover.
That Saturday was not fun.
Oh, you didn't plan accordingly. I just drank a bunch of water when I came in. I was fine.
I'm not good with liquor. I'm good with beer. I'm not good with liquor.
True.
I'm not good with liquor. And there was no, to my recollection, there was no beer there. It was exclusively, and not just liquor, custom-made drinks inspired by the film. It was just like, these people know Bond. These are Bond fans. It's quite something. Really cool.
It is just so, man. I'm still. I look at those pictures and I just like, I can't wait for the pandemic to be over to go back and experience this. I want to bring Carmine into it, and you know what? The later, the more postponed it is, the more maturity he can get. Because I don't want to see him. We saw a person, I didn't know the person, but there was a person sick, embarrassing themselves. It's just like, I don't want to see Carmine do that. So, the older he gets, he becomes, before we can bring him along, I don't want to see him embarrass themselves.
No, I do think this is something that Jason would like completely freak out over.
Oh,
like Jason is well dressed, knows his style. Is an extremely good mingler, but even better than myself. And I consider myself to be a half decent mingler. He's
in there.
Well, Jason, I'm waxing poetic.
He says, "I have the outfits ready for whichever film."
I'm sure you do, but no, this is something he would absolutely. I think it's something he would completely freak out over. I mean, the videos are there, the pictures are there, but when you are physically there, it's like, did we just step into a Bond movie? Like, not a Bond movie, but
universe.
The feel, the touch, the sounds, the colors.
I was just like, it's one of those things, like, kind of like the first Comic-Con. This is, I left and it's just, is this real? was this? There's three things. Each year there's at least one event that I'm like, was this real? Year one was obviously the Comic-Con. Year two, Let's Bond. And year three, we'll get there when we get there. But
we're getting pretty close. We're only a few months away from in the timeline. We're only a couple months away. I mean, after that, there was the second Halloween special where we concentrated on Halloween, but sort of the franchise at large. I remember that episode because that was. I don't think I'm getting my details wrong. I'm pretty confident here. That was the weekend. We went to see You Only Live Twice in the basement of Cinéma du Parc. Then we had lunch with our friend King, and Jean, and Carmine.
I think I left here at 2 a.m., something crazy like that.
Yeah, and we had a batch of episodes to do that night. It was, I mean, the Halloween recording was almost like a midnight special. An exclusive midnight recording. Because I think it probably was close to midnight.
It was, like, I took Uber to go home. Like I was completely drained. I was exhausted. I just like no, I can't like walk and take the subway. No, I want to go home and sleep. And I just crashed. I'm done.
And another mini event were the couple screenings, private screenings we've had with King. But where was I? Oh, right, because of the Halloween special and the second Christmas special, which really expanded things a little bit. It was
so a lot more people joined us for the second.
What do you want? What's your Bond 26? I think that was the gift of Bond 26.
The gift of Bond 26.
Yeah, I still remember David's. I did like his where he wanted all the double O's to be there for like a big final battle. That's pretty good. They've never done that. I wonder if that, like, did that make... No, we had already recorded Bond Extension, too. I came up with the Double Dangers with the comic book show.
Yes. Oh, my God. Yeah, the Bond expansion. That's...
I have no idea. You know, you want to know why I suggested Bond Expansion Volume 3 should be the Christmas special? Because I'm out of idea. I don't know what to come up with.
It's going to be... I could, but I used them to mature.
So Christmas special 2, and then we get into early 2020. A year ago.
It feels like there's a gap there, but
I know. I mean, what do we talk about 2020? I mean, the first couple months are fine.
it starts fine. It starts sucking in March, basically.
Yeah, right around mid to late March.
Look, after Operation Double Bourbon. That's a mouthful. Double Bourbon. It's better.
But even before Double Bourbon, there is now we'll get to Double Bourbon, and Double Bourbon was a very impressive success. I'm very proud of what we did with Double Bourbon. No disrespect to Double Bourbon. It was home ground after all.
Yes.
But
yeah. I'm over. I feel like I'm overselling Double Bourbon when I'm gonna say two words that to this day are. It's still, I wouldn't call it the gold standard, but it's the event that everyone remembers because it's
good God.
For now, the last major one, Snowfall.
Operation Snowfall. And the whole evolution of Snowfall was fascinating because I remember they announced Skyfall in concert. The premiere had happened a while ago, but it felt like maybe my details are. This is maybe where they're getting a little bit hazy, but it felt like it didn't take as long for Skyfall to come to Toronto as did Casino Royale. It felt like we waited a while for Casino Royale. Skyfall felt like, wasn't it in London like 5 or 6 months ago? So it didn't take very long. And we obviously reacted because we had done Casino Royale in Toronto.
Immediately, we made plans with Jason to...
Yeah, Jason, obviously, because he had been with us in Toronto. We came up with a clever name. You came up with the poster. And unlike I don't remember if we announced anything for Casino Royale. Maybe we didn't. Maybe that's where we aired the wrong way. But we made an event of it on our Facebook page for Snowfall. And it just went absolutely pardon my French, but fucking insane.
Crissement intense, I'll say.
David notices it. Jeff, because we had at this point
and Jeff is, the success of that event. We made we made the splashy colors, but the brains of the event. I'll say it again. I've said it before, and Jeff knows that. It's Jeff. Jeff really was instrumental in making a reservation and booking
I have him
stuff.
to thank for eating the most expensive vegetarian lunch I've ever had in my entire life. But it was good. It was fun.
I had never been to the restaurant inside the CN Tower. I had been there. It was my third time. I went there when I was a 10-year-old kid. I had been there the year before, and I know I would have waited, but and yeah. And we had lunch with Harris.
Oh, good
God.
Kyle.
David,
Joe, Kyle, Harris,
Joe Smilon.
Yeah, the Joe
and
too.
John Broughton.
John Broughton, JB. Bespoke JB? Bespoke or Bespoke JB?
I think it's Bespoke.
Sorry if I'm getting those two mixed up. But
all lovely people. All amazing, lovely people.
That was fantastic.
I had so much fun.
Fantastic. And the Friday night was we met Alex. Alex was from James Bond North America. We met him at our hotel bar. So we whet our appetites, and then we go over to, I don't remember where we went that Friday night, but that's where it got.
We went to the hotel that was right next to our hotel. Then we walked to
Friday night. I don't remember the Friday.
No. We went to
the Russian place.
The Russian place. We didn't get in. We finally ended up. We met I think it's the Russian place. Everyone was getting out.
Omni Hotel.
And we went to the Omni Hotel. And the Omni Hotel was epic. I still.
Jesus. And that was the Friday. We have
Joe Darlington's epic adventure.
Listen to his episode on that. But yes, we won't. We don't want to get his own details incorrect here, but that's quite something.
Like when he came in, everyone's like cheering him. It's like you made it.
Mission accomplished.
that was a fun time. Oh God.
So I mean, met Zaritsky face to face for the first time. Got to catch up with Joe for a second time. Caught up with Bill for a second time. Jeff, Bud West, met him face to face. I remember I talked sports a lot with him a lot.
Met Darren,
yes.
Jerome,
yes,
Lloyd. I love that.
Very quiet Lloyd.
Oh, Lloyd
is listening.
It's just,
and then he says something and good fun.
Love Lloyd. Just like
the Bond influence.
His
calling card.
I don't know if
he makes those anymore, but I'm like, geez.
It was badass. Everyone's like, this is great.
We have these cute little.
We have cards. You have.
He comes up with a Schmidt Spionen thing. I'm like, wow, okay.
You're gonna remember that.
Yeah. So I still have the Bond Experience pen somewhere. I still have my John Broughton. I still have my Bespoke JB pocket coat pocket. Not pocket. The
Pocket Square.
Pocket Square.
I don't know if I got one of those. I'll have to verify. Yeah.
What else? And then, so Skyfall.
Donnie at breakfast. Donnie, who made me feel like less of a man. Because I'm like,
he's saying something.
He's taller than me, and he's
a truck.
He's like an armoire à glace, as we see in French Canadian.
Yeah. He's a brick wall. He's quite the specimen.
Yeah, he's like
not intimidating at all. No,
I wouldn't. Like he's actually a detective, a police officer. Yes. I wouldn't want to be confronted. A criminal being confronted by this man, I'd be.
I'd probably.
Sorry, sir, I won't do it again.
Yeah, no, I'd be like, please let anybody else handcuff me except this person. I don't want it to accidentally break my wrist. So that was interesting. But that was a great weekend. The whole weekend was a lot of fun. That was probably, and look, a couple weeks later, it's Double Bourbon, which was on our home soil, a lovely supper at the Blue Montfort.
And we met Emery. Did we meet him in the first year?
We can't forget Darren. Darren Hayes.
That's true.
So that we met him in Toronto, and then he came. Yeah, we met him in Toronto, and he was like, "What? There's something in 2 weeks in Montreal." Friday night in Montreal. He's like,
you know what? He's probably happy that he came, though. I'm pretty sure, Darren, if you watch this either on YouTube or if you're on Instagram, I don't know. There's still that many people watching. We're almost been going on for like 2 hours.
Yeah, and we'll wrap this up pretty soon.
Yeah,
we're doing like a bit of a circle jerk here, anyway. So it's like,
but yeah, it was epic. And after that.
That's it, man. Like because here I was thinking about this the other day, and I don't know if I want to end the live stream on this, but consider this. If we want to get like twisted about this, consider this. Operation Double Bourbon happens the first weekend of March, something. It was early March. I remember it was early March. Operation Double Bourbon happens. I checked the dates. The following weekend, so not the Sunday of Double Bourbon, the Sunday like 9 days later. Quebec shuts down. You do realize that as we're partying for Snowfall, and clearly as we're partying for Double Bourbon, like this shit's just spreading all over the place. It's like, oops.
We may have contributed.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, am I getting my date? Was there more?
No, it's our fault.
No,
it's our fault.
We were really doing that stuff as COVID was just going like wildfire.
We
didn't know. I mean, we didn't know. We didn't fully understand it until it was obviously too late. And that's the and especially in this case, unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbled. But yeah, it just struck me. I was like, nah, those dates add up. We went to Toronto. We met like 100 people, and like COVID's all over the place.
Yay! Do you want to spit on me a little bit? We did a few things since, but nothing out of the ordinary. It's mostly virtual stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there was the Casino Royale fan commentary, which was a lot of fun to do. Maybe it wasn't the rousing success we would hope it would. We hoped it would be, but as far as the quality of that product, I'm still proud of it. Proud of Emery's editing. I'm proud of the idea, which had to be tailored a little bit, but still, you were the OG of that idea.
It was super fun. One thing we only did it once. I have to go back to the drawing boards, but the RPG evening that we did.
That's true. Yeah, that's something not really anybody knows about because it was sort of a private affair. But yeah, we had was that for like the Global James Bond weekend?
Yes,
the Saturday we picked it for.
Yes, I think it's the weekend of.
It's funny. We tend to do James Bond related things just after bad No Time to Die news happened. Operation Double Bourbon. That was the week. No Time.
No. It starts with the release of the first poster. I think we met Emery and went to the casino.
Yes.
Like, that poster.
Operation Casino Royale.
Yes.
Happens on the day of a shit poster. Operation Double Bourbon happens the week of the first like traumatic No Time to Die delay. The RPG, which was, and I'll let you regale on the details, but the RPG happens the day after No Time to Die is delayed again. No Time to Die is delayed just again, and we're celebrating our 3rd anniversary, so we really plan these things well.
Yeah, it's our fault.
Has there been shit No Time to Die news? Oh, I guess we better come up with something cool.
But yeah, the RPG. I dug out the old James Bond RPG, and I've tried to make it applicable. So I'm not someone who gets off on the I want you to follow every rule and roll the dice, and to me it's more like playing a character. So yeah. I built everyone characters that match their personality, and I printed little bios and information. And there's so this is, I just don't want to show the address, but this is the what it looked like, and I had little dossiers. That's Malcolm Frost, and if you're looking at the bios, when you picked up, you had a little card for the James Bond complex. You had tickets to your location with your name, the name of your character. you had your mission statement. Obviously, you had your character file information and a little bio on who you're playing. And I don't remember whose picture I took. I sort of tried to find people that were not actors, sort of, and I put a filter. Anyway, I created an adventure that was sort of a sequel to Dr. No, as if Dr. No had taken place about a decade earlier, and it was an interesting story or experience.
Yes, it was.
I know that Emery and his wife actually played with us, and Emery's wife was laughing the entire time. She was just happy with the choices I had made with her character, because she was a late addition to the game.
She was a late addition,
and because of that,
she was a sport about it, though. She was a sport.
No, she was sort of the spice we needed, because I don't think we would have as much fun if she wasn't there, because she was cracking up, making jokes, and playing her character, which is primal.
Yeah, she was probably of all the players that evening. Yeah, she probably was the one that, in sort of in a very happy-go-lucky kind of way, she was probably the one that invested the most energy in being the character. Even I didn't do it as much as she did. That was
because I made her character. Because I was using a character like a bio generator. Yeah, and it turns out, they made her character gay. Why not? It's the 21st century, and turns out that I always try to keep people intertwined, and her character was dating the same person your character was dating, so there was a little fiction there.
Which I didn't really like the script.
You didn't like the script? I'll ask Richard Maybaum to take a pass at it.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and you put a lot of effort. I mean, I had to make a little. I had to go back to Cambridge.
I want to do it again. Like, I might not reuse the actual James Bond RPG system, because I find it a little bit archaic and hard to. Something about there's no health points. There's sort of wounds, and it's too complicated for me. I like basic. You have this many health points. So that's something I'd love to do. Maybe for a video, something for a YouTube channel with other influencers, content creators.
Well, one of the things we've talked about, and I feel it's not our operation, it was Emery's, but Operation Cold Reception, where we celebrated one of his anniversaries. The first time, I want to say, we went to Quebec City and we had a wonderful poker night. Emery was a fantastic host, but the idea of a poker game amongst Bond fans that would be filmed, so people would sort of like appreciate the camaraderie that's happening around the table would be an idea. Again, it requires some setup, and you probably want. I should probably not be one of the players because I don't play very well, but it would be an interesting thing to like. I wouldn't mind being there just to like observe.
I wouldn't make it. It would have to be edited though, because I don't think it would be like a one. It's something like. Even this live stream, I don't know how many people watch the entire thing from beginning to end. It's over 2 hours. I'm getting a little bit tired, so even you, the Instagram people, it was a good time, Jeff. So it sounds like a good time talking about the RPG. Yes, it was a good time. It's a little bit much. But if you edit it, you cut in, you explain what's happening, it could be fun.
It could be fun.
Like a best of.
It would be a hell of an editing. As someone that already knows a few things about video editing, and as someone that quite literally is learning, reasons are not important, but that is learning about video editing, it would be a hell of a project to work on.
It would be quite something.
And
you need a lot of coverage to make it dynamic. And
good lighting.
Good lighting. Just as we are right, we have right now.
We're glowing.
We're glowing.
We're almost like the From Russia with Love, where we're glistening. mean, Global James Bond, the RPG on that weekend 2020. It's like, there was a Christmas special, there was a Halloween special. Both were, I mean, in their own funny ways, that were each their own sort of. Depends how you measure success. I still like both.
No, I still like both. It's just that, for this year, I mean, our original plan, when you think about it, we wanted to make more videos, more how to sort of travel. We did none of those things.
We had scuba diving classes.
That never happened.
Never happened. Getting people,
London trip, that never happened.
Yeah, I mean, we skimmed over the. I mean, we alluded to No Time to Die delays, but if you do not follow our social media platforms at all, we had made like, oh, the whole. I remember writing something like, all 3 hosts, like the whole James Bond complex will be in London, and we were no less day for day. I think we're about a month away from, and less than a month from taking the plane, but day for day, we're about a month away from the movie coming out. And you had not been to London. I had been to London.
I remember. I don't want to talk about it, but I remember it was, that dark period.
Look, it'll happen. A trip to London will happen. Whether it'll happen for a movie premiere, God knows. But we'll reconvene. We'll set a date with London.
Hopefully, you know what? Big Ben will be being restored. I think it's still it's under scaffolding right now. So,
hey, all the more reason to push this off a few more months.
It's because of Big Ben.
The preparation was fun.
Oh man, I was so excited. Even
with Jason, I don't know if Jason's still checking this out, but you, me, and Jason, we went freaking ape shit with
like the 2-week period where it looked like we could still travel, even though there was no movie being premiered. Or we're like, oh, we'll still go, and then everything shut down, and we more or less got partially reimbursed, and we got vouchers for it. I know that my trip to Las Vegas next year is still technically probably paid for partially.
Yeah, I guess so. Unless they get like a little bit anal about it. Well, it has to be to London because you bought for London. It's like,
no, I don't think so. I think it says for everything.
And that's
it. I think I'm done.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do any top 3s.
No. All right.
Year 3 in the books. Today, year 4 begins. There is some video we have. So I mean, David maybe inadvertently took the cat out of the bag. We do have video. It's nothing super sexy or anything, but we do have some video footage that does include the Bond experience. It's our show, but he's on it,
and that's your.
I know that's going to be my first.
Your masterclass in editing.
I'm giving myself I took my master class. I literally had my projector that Saturday, closed the blinds, turn on the projector because I wanted to see what the guy was clicking on. Transition, ombre, take notes. It was an interesting Saturday.
Well,
that was the Saturday I bailed on you guys for the watch party because I was like,
oh, don't worry about it.
Which I did again yesterday because it was another Saturday when I had school.
I completely understand. Even tonight, after we're done, I'm wrapping my stuff, going home, frying some wings, and group watch.
Oh yeah, no, I'm it's -3. I'm going outside for a couple hours. Game's not for another.
No, I know, but it's still has to go. Probably get
through with the halftime show. I know it's like the weekend guy, but where is he going to be? How are they going to? I am a little bit curious to see what are they going to do. I know you don't give a shit about football, but one of the
I told you I like football. I just don't have a favorite team.
Sorry.
I don't care.
Sorry,
I like the sport.
One of the 2 semifinalist games, obviously a couple weeks ago. It was pretty neat. They had this little kid who's really good with the electric guitar, so he sort of rocked out the American, but he was in front of the stadium outside. I guess so when it's COVID.
Sometimes, I'm going to miss 2 things. Janet Jackson from 2003 and that time that Lady Gaga bungee jump from.
That was cool.
That was
cool.
Fucking cool. Sorry, I cursed again. But that was. Oh, it's Donnie. It is?
Hello.
I remember
Hello.
logo.
We salute you. We salute your episodes. Good stuff recently. I like the watch episode. I listened to the watch episode. That was a lot of
The
fun.
last one I watched was with David a month and a half ago.
We've had conversations. I know we got to wrap this up, but just we've had conversations off mic about there's so much good content out there done by people, whether we know them or we know of them. It's like I'm not gonna pretend that I listen to every single new episode. It's like
I try to watch at least once in a while.
And it goes both ways. Like if someone tells
I don't expect.
Oh, did you listen to our Mission Impossible episode with Bill Koenig? If the person says I haven't had time for it, it's like okay, neither did I have time to listen to your latest episode either. It's like
it's perfectly like when you're doing this, you don't have as much time to watch this. If it makes sense.
Yeah.
Donc.
Just as how do we end our episode? Just as James Bond always returns, so too with the James Bond complex, with another live stream at some point,
or a video. Actually,
or a video.
You have.
I have homework.
I have another video on the docket. I have two or three things on the docket for YouTube. It's just that it takes time, and I don't have the best computer. So
it's funny. My computer does it fine, but depending on because they're like two.
Maybe that's something for off mic discussion.
Yeah. Anyways, it was interesting. So, sur ce, toujours un plaisir. À la prochaine.
Au revoir.
Ciao. Hasta la próxima. Domo, arigato. No, domo. Arigato matane.
Au revoir. Ciao.